Hey everyone, it's Katie and Mike. Say hi, Mike.
Hello, everybody.
So we saw a movie that's 20 years in the making. Also, Mike broke his glasses, sort of. Semi broke his glasses.
I was just gonna swing by, to
You
North
look-
Pole and pick up Santa Claus, but now it's just,
Yeah, don't do that, because
No.
here's the thing.
See,
His
they
glasses
broke.
are only partially broken, thanks to the 3D. Thanks, 3D. Don't go see this movie in 3D, by the way, because it's really not worth it.
They'll
But
be easily super gluable fix.
yeah, it's an easy super
And I
gluable
shook
fix.
them off, so come on.
So anyway,
They're fine.
So we're probably gonna end up first driving home from the movie, surprisingly, and then take a short break with the spoilers probably, and then
Mike's gonna super glue his glasses really quick, and then we're gonna talk with me without my glasses.
yeah, I'm thinking we're probably just gonna jump back into the car because I don't feel like setting up the lighting at the house. Anyway, so we saw, with that in mind, so you understand what's going on. So we saw Jurassic World. I wanted to like it. I wanted to like it for the goofy thing it was. And I think we agree that there are some elements that are enjoyable. There are some bits that work.
The action is pretty fabulous.
Most of it. There are, I will say, I don't even remember, what was it, the Gigantosaurus Rex?
I don't even remember what they called it.
The big mega dinosaur. We'll just call it mega dinosaur because that's all I was thinking. They did do a decent job of only revealing bits and pieces of him until the big would-be Jeep scene. I mean, here's the thing. There are very specific things from this movie where they were ripping off the very first one. Oh, I'm sorry. They were like homaging
the first one.
But you see it in the trailer that they have these gyroscope things, which are genuinely cool.
And also, the two things I called that were going to happen did happen. Not exactly the way I said they were going to happen, but they
still happen. And we'll get to that. I guess spoilers?
Yeah, we'll get
All
into
right.
that in spoilers.
But the gyroscope scene where you see the dinosaur more or less like fully for the first time, and when the two kids see the dinosaur, I thought that was the most effective as far as chilling, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a very good scene.
So kudos for that, even though you are homaging the first movie
With the Jeep and the kids.
Yeah, no, and then like
Falling out of the tree scene.
their whole having to get back after in the dangerous woods thing. There was a lot of that going on where there's certain things that were specifically homaged from the first movie, and to a point I don't mind it because I know a lot of people were looking for nostalgia anyway. But there were also a lot, so like there are things that worked. There are a lot of things that didn't, to the point where Mike and I kept going, this is so dumb, and not like enjoyable dumb, like I'm mad that they didn't make better choices. I'm mad that I can think of better things they could have done to make it enjoyable and also not hurt my brain. And for that, I'm just kind of disappointed in aspects of it. Look, I'm not asking for like the smartest movie ever, and I do think that they're better than the other sequels, but I wanted something a little, oh my god, I can't believe I'm using this pun. I'm looking for something meatier.
I agree with your assessment, but I think I liked it better than you. It's really flawed. It's gashing with flaws.
Yes. And there's a lot of like weird things that are dropped. And also like, okay, some part of it was that in the interview with the director made a point of saying that this is really Bryce Dallas Howard's movie, that she's kind of the hero of the story. And don't get me wrong, she's in the movie and she has a lot of screen time. However, I was expecting a little more proactiveness from her character. And
she's the park manager, but really, the only real the only real heroics come from Chris Pratt's character.
Even though there is a point where she does something pretty badass, and two things happen after it. One, and I hated this so much. So, all right, but just to back up slightly, she and Chris Pratt's characters had one date together, apparently, which they threw into, and I was just like, really? They had a date? Because they obviously didn't. And it was like, you're Mr. Loose Cannon. Well, you're Miss Uptight. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want you two to get together. You clearly do not work. Just fight dinosaurs together and get on with it. So, like, they had this thing set up where they clearly weren't, like, I don't know, they didn't fit right romantically. I didn't want them to really be love interests as much as just, again, fighting dinosaurs with more dinosaurs. And so, like, she does this kind of cool thing, which I didn't mind, and then I was like, oh God, how are they gonna ruin this? And they ruined it by him swooping in and kissing her out of nowhere. It was just, it made me mad.
Yeah, the romance subplot, if you can call it that, is really weak.
So again, they kind of undermine her badass moment by doing that, and then later on when it's her nephews that you see in the trailer, and the whole thing about her is that she doesn't want kids, and her sister thinks that she probably wants kids, because again, they're basically stealing from the first movie without realizing maybe pushing children on a woman professional is different from suggesting it with a man who's in a relationship with someone. Like, those are two different things. So, that got me so mad when the mom was calling her sister, the aunt, and she says, like, well, when you have kids, you'll understand. And she goes, if I have kids, which I probably won't. Oh, you will, and you'll see. And I was like, no! No! As someone who is childless, no, do not do this movie. Do not make the message of this movie that the successful businesswoman, the moral of the story be that she should have children. Do not do this. And it kind of petered out, but not really. There was still like a weird message at the end that like she should learn to be like more open to children. It was weird, and I didn't like it. Anyway, so all right, so that's after she does the badass thing, and after the kiss, the kids are scared, and they go like, oh, we don't want to be alone. And she goes, don't worry, I'm never leaving you ever. I'm not leaving your side until we're off of this. And they go, no, him. And I'm like, you've barely seen him do anything. All right, I'm just going to spoil it. She shoots a dinosaur. She shoots a dinosaur that's about to kill Chris Pratt's character. So they just saw her like use a gun to kill essentially a monster. Like a mutated monster. And the kids are like, oh no, we need Chris Pratt. No, you don't. Your aunt just
kill the dinosaur.
Yeah, it made me so mad. Why was that joke in there? That was a pointless joke, movie. Bad form. So, like, it undermines so much, and she only gets to do, like, a few things that isn't hiding, and isn't, like, letting Chris Pratt shoot things. And I got so mad. She got a chase scene. That was okay, but...
And the end with her,
but that was a dumb idea.
That was a very flawed idea.
That was a flawed... And yeah, maybe she's desperate. We'll get into it with spoilers. But yeah, there's like an idea, and she's like, oh, that's smart. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not a smart plan. Oh my God, Gwen Stacy. Don't do
what
this.
What are you talking about? This is a fabulous plan. I'm happy to be a part of it.
So... Oh my God, where were we? We've gotten off.
She had 12% of a plan.
Yeah, that's also, I want to say this right now. So slight spoiler alert, Vincent D'Onofrio's character is once again a bad guy. He's this military guy. So we have Gwen Stacy
hooking up with
Star-Lord and helping him fight dinosaurs with other dinosaurs while the Kingpin tries to militarize them all. Marvel. Yeah, also, I'm sorry, I cannot find Vincent D'Onofrio intimidating in this. When the last time we saw him, he was smashing someone's head in with a car door. You can't go from that to him going like, oh, I can totally train raptors. Like, no, you're not. You can't go from the Kingpin to this character because the character is not that intimidating. He's mostly wormy. So it was like all I'm thinking of is your character. Can Daredevil come back soon enough? So all right, we should probably get to the thing. The
He's really kind of the Nedry of this film.
Kind of. Yeah, well, and we'll
Sort
get
of
to
like
it.
a military
I'm trying to single out the spoilers so that we don't talk about them yet. But what we can talk about is dinosaur training, because that's a thing in this movie. And I will say, out of all the things in this movie
that you expected to hate,
that I expected to think was stupid, for the first half, it's not bad. For the first half, the second half, totally different thing, because it gets dumb. But the first half, they actually handle it as if they are training wild animals, which dinosaurs are. So it actually, like, and they were clearly doing it so that Chris Pratt has been above and has been training them from a safe distance for a long time. They do it in a way that makes me think, like when there's this emergency situation where he has to go into the pen, and it's clear that this has never happened before. Or that it's happened very few times because it's taken seriously. So when he's actually, like, right next to them, it doesn't feel as if he just magically was able to hang out with them all the time.
let's just say this right now, Chris Pratt is the best part of this movie.
Oh, and I hate that he is, because, like, his character undermines Claire, the female character. Like, I didn't want him to be the hero of the movie, and I was mad that that's how they wrote him. He was good, but there were so many parts where
you wanted the likable protagonists to be the heroes of this movie, but really Chris Pratt only really becomes sort of the hero.
And I don't know. It's not like it's too much of his character was really too smarmy and, like, too smirky and, like, hitting on what's-her-face, and I don't know. It just
He drops that pretty quick, though, once everything goes to crap.
Yeah, but the whole kissing... I think I said, are you kidding me? Everybody else was like, ooh, in the theater, and I was like, no, bad
Also,
movie.
We had a bit of a horror movie crowd with us, because there were people that were reacting.
Like, oh, shit! Yeah, I
don't go in there. They're dead.
I didn't see. Yeah, that was the thing. Like, what? All right, I will say this much: that was okay until because it was during the gyroscope, seeing the monster for the dinosaur for the first time.
Well, I won't say what scene, but I'll say it later.
All right, but yeah, one of the guys said, "Oh, they're dead," and I was whispering to Mike, "Well, they're clearly not dead because this is a Spielberg side production." And it's children, and that doesn't happen. They're not going to die.
Child deaths aren't going to happen on screen.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, when the pterodactyls, because you see this in the trailer, so I don't mind bringing it up. Even though we will get to the dumbest thing about that scene. But, yeah, with the pterodactyls, you conveniently only see adults getting attacked by the pterodactyls. All right, let's kind of backtrack a little bit. First of all, the kids.
The opening of this movie. How about this?
Okay, yeah, the opening of this movie was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Not the dumbest thing I've ever seen, but it's very, very dumb because it was like 3D raptors, and they were like opening up the eggs, and they were like, they were in the eggs.
I think you were seeing the hatching of the genetically modified dinosaur.
I thought it was that you saw the hatching of the 4 raptors.
Maybe it was the 4 raptors, but I thought I only saw 2 eggs.
Oh, right. And they kind of they only mention it like once. God, I hate so much of the things they chose to do with this movie. But no, I guess that makes sense. But it was just a 3D. It was like a computer animated sequence of dinosaurs being hatched, and I'm like, there's no wonder here, there's no like shock. I was like, just get to the actual movie. And then they got to the movie. It just took while.
And then the first 30 minutes took a while.
Yeah. There's a lot of traveling. The kids traveling. So the kids... Here's the thing. All right, so the one younger kid is from Iron Man 3, which is a movie I like.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I did not realize
I'm cold. Because we're connected.
He's a much better actor now. He did a really good job.
All right, I will say this. All right, first of all, I noticed that from the first trailer. I was like, oh, they brought in that kid.
I don't recognize people.
I know, you're terrible at. Here's the thing. I thought he was a good actor. However, the quirks they gave him were the dumbest thing, because apparently he is OCD and like counts shit, and it's like he does not act like a little kid. And then so in the middle, and the brothers only thing is that he's surly and he's horny. He is a teenage boy, and those are his two. He's like, I don't want to be next to my little brother, but I'm going to look at the girls and smile at the girls, even though I have a girlfriend, because I like looking at girls.
Also, did you notice that at the beginning of the movie, like when he's saying goodbye to his girlfriend, she says, I love you.
Oh, yeah, and he goes, I'll see you later. Yeah, no. Ha, ha, ha. That's so cute. So the other thing is they basically hint at the parents are filing a divorce while they're gone, and they don't tell the kids, which is like, that seems like a bad choice. I realize that going through a divorce could be tricky, but then they never really clarify it.
I don't think you're gonna settle that over a weekend while your kids are over at Jurassic World.
Also, like, oh, welcome back, we have something to tell you. Like, why would you do that? That seems like a terrible choice. So in the middle of this, after the kids bond a little bit, suddenly it takes like this weird tonal shift where they're sitting on the monorail, and the younger kid is pointing out that the parents are probably getting divorced, and then they have this, like, he starts crying, and the teenager is like, well, I'm gonna be gone anyway, and it's this like really dour scene, and that makes no sense for where they were, how they were talking before.
And really, you don't even need this subplot in the movie at all, because it never comes back after that scene.
You really don't need it at all. You could cut it out, have their whole thing be that he just doesn't want to hang out with his brother, but then after the water show, he starts being a little more friendly, and then he does the stupid ass thing, is like, oh, let's just go through the park and explore, even though they're saying that there's some kind of minor emergency and they have to go back. By the way, yeah, half of this is just the brother's fault. Not a half, I'd say 20%. 20% of this is the brother's fault, because he just like, oh yeah, why don't we? We got the passes, we got like the special VIP passes, it's good. But basically there was a whole bit that they could have cut out, and it would have strengthened it because it would have made actual sense for the movie. So, God, I just got so mad at those characters because I didn't want to dislike them, but it was getting really hard to like them.
Yeah,
there's so much schlock with the whole "I'm always going to be there for you," and I was like, is the brother going to die? Because they keep acting like they're going to get separated, which they never do. That's another thing that's set up that never happens.
Yeah, they never get separated. It's sort of like...
There's a lot of Chekhov's guns that
don't get shot off.
Don't get shot off in this movie, including the parents' divorce. Like, that just kind of gets dropped. There was no real reason for it. Like, I don't understand why they had to include that. Like, there was enough going on with the brothers that they could have handled it. I'm trying to think what else before we
get towards spoilers. The whole beginning up until like the park has its emergency because the thing escaped it's really long, and it's kind of tedious and boring.
There's also exposition that's explained more than once, and Bryce Dallas Howard's character is the one to explain it, but she explains like 3 times to three different people.
She explains the genetic modification of the dinosaur about 3 times to the audience, to 3 different people, and really you could have only done it once.
They could have even done it where they like hint at it, but then it's only when she talks to Chris Pratt that she actually gets into the actual details. But they don't do that, and it pissed me off. Sorry, I'm trying to... We got our tablet out so I can actually look at the... I believe... Oh my gosh. Hold the thing for one. Ah, I got it! I can get it. I can take it back. Yay!
I hold the camera for once.
For once.
First time in driving home the movie, I held the camera. That's a first.
Yes. So, I'm trying to think who else. Well, B.D. Wong was in it. Again, reprising his role. Like, I think he was the only person to reprise his role in this whole movie.
We'll talk more about him
Oh,
later.
except for Mr. DNA! What was his name in the movie?
Oh God, I can't remember his name.
But you know the little mascot
The
they had in
DNA
the first
mascot.
day? Dino
DNA.
DNA! He showed up once, and I'm not gonna lie. Look, I didn't come to the movie and expect it, like, to be treated to only nostalgia stuff, but at the same time, that little bit kind of was enjoyable. Also, okay, this is something we have to talk about. They acted like the dinosaur petting zoo was lame. I would have spent, like, at least 2 hours in that thing. You could pet baby dinosaurs! Why are they like, that's kid stuff? Oh my god, no! Like, do you know how much I would pay to pet a baby brontosaurus? That is adorable. Why did they act like that's like all the other exhibits? You couldn't actually pet the animals for good reason because they're all huge and can kill you. But for the baby dinosaurs, hell yes, I would spend good money just to go to a baby dinosaur zoo. Right?
Yeah.
So, all right, anyway. Sorry, I needed to get that out there because the teenage brother.
This is so lame.
This is so lame. I'm like,
we're gonna ditch
I don't like you. I don't like you at all.
We're gonna ditch our aunt's assistant and run off now.
So much of this movie was like, and also, the little brother, I'm not saying he did a bad job acting. I'm saying that the direction and the writing for him was so like roller coaster because like he's nervous at first. And then he gets to the island. Suddenly he's like the most amazed person. They do the do-do-do-do-do-do.
Also, they played that song a lot.
Yeah, and I love when they do it in the hints of wonder, but when, like, it's scary, I'm like, that doesn't sound... That's not when you're supposed to use the
wonder theme.
The wonder theme. But anyway, the kids, like... And then, like I said, he goes into this emotional breakdown, and they don't really set it up. It just feels... really haphazard and like all over the place as far as tone for this movie. And again, I'm not asking for like genius Oscar-winning performances or Oscar-winning writing necessarily. I just want something that makes sense. And a lot of it didn't make any sense. With that, the other thing. All right, one more thing, and then we will get to spoilers. So I found this hilarious. So Jake Johnson's character, do you remember Safety Not Guaranteed?
Yes, I remember Safety Not Guaranteed.
The guy who played the skeptical, like, reporter guy.
Oh, yeah. The guy who played...
He was the one scientist who...
Yeah, he's the...
But who, I will say... I did enjoy moments with him, and they did a little subverting of the trope where he's the one that stays behind, and he goes to kiss, like, the other girl that's in his position. She's like, no, I have a boyfriend. And then they're
really
like...
happy.
And she's like, yeah, you don't talk about... Well, I'm at work. I thought that was fine, but it was just, like, it was ruined because they'd already done the kissing thing from before, and it made me... I was already mad about that. But I like the fact that, like, she's not interested.
That's a bit of a spoiler, I would call.
Whatever. The dinosaurs... Something goes wrong in the dinosaur park.
No, I mean he tries for the kiss.
Oh, whatever. So anyway, but no, there's a part at the beginning where he is complaining
I still
about...
found that scene funny.
I did too, but again, it was tainted by the fact that I was already pissed off about an earlier similar thing.
Okay.
And I didn't like the first thing. Anyway, so early on, though, they're talking about... first of all, all right, there are a few things that are hilarious about this. So Claire, the main female character, she does this... She's trying to get sponsorship for their new dinosaur. Which is really funny if you know anything about, in particular, about the history of Disneyland as far as just how many of their parks attractions were actually just sponsored by different companies, particularly in like Tomorrowland and Epcot and stuff. So it is kind of funny that they tie that in. But the best thing is that he's like, oh man, all this corporations buying things, why don't you just name the dinosaurs after you? Meanwhile, there's like 4 different product placement in the actual shot of this movie. So they're like, corporate branding to pay for things. Like
to make expensive things really more.
Yeah, so we can pay for expensive things. Movie, I don't think you can make this message and have it be.
And then he starts naming off dinosaurs with hybrid corporation names.
Oh, so all the cars are the same brand, and she's holding a Starbucks cup, and I want to say it was Margaritaville that was the restaurant that was in there, and I was thinking like, well, certainly I do want a margarita. That was the movie. Like, so much of this movie is to the point where I was just like, I don't think you make this anti-branding message when you're putting brand in your movie.
It's a weak message.
Do you want to just go to
I'm kind
spoilers?
of ready to go to spoilers.
And Mike has to fix his glasses.
I think I'll just wait.
Okay. Well, you are not driving anymore, so you don't have to necessarily see.
No.
So.
No, I have nothing to see.
Okay, so instead, I guess we're just gonna go right to spoilers. So, spoiler alert, the corporation is evil.
Wow.
Da-da-da!
We never saw that coming from 3 previous other movies.
Wasn't it the bad guy organization? Wasn't it Ingenue?
InGen was always like sort of the corporation that ran everything, I thought.
Okay. So it wasn't the bad guy organization from the first movie, right?
No, I think the bad guy organization in the first movie was just bad
Global
guys.
Tech?
I think they were like
Black
rebels
market.
just trying to get embryos so that they could sell them off to the highest bidder and make a lot of money.
Okay. So,
I think InGen's always been like the corporate that's held onto the park.
So like they set up that like something's happening in the labs and none of the people we are supposed to be relating to knows about. And Shang from Mulan is keeping secrets. And
Shang from Mulan?
You didn't know that? That's what I was trying to tell you earlier.
He helped defeat the Huns.
Well, barely. It was mostly Ming-Na Wen.
Yes, Ming-Na Wen.
Another Marvel connection. Mm-hmm. So, but he's keeping secrets. And, it turns out that the crazy mutated dinosaur was made of crazy mutated dinosaur parts. Did you know that cuttlefish have cloaking devices? Man, it really sucks that was the part of the cuttlefish that went into the dinosaur.
Oh no.
And also other things. And they also like half-assedly hinted at the reason why they didn't have feathers was, well, we mutated them with all these other things and you wanted them to look cool.
Bigger, stronger, more teeth, cooler.
They could have looked totally different. Wink! If we didn't do that.
I said in the podcast that was going to happen.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that were still
I wanted it. I liked it.
I know people who were really pissed off at that, actually. But,
well, those people don't like dinosaurs with feathers. And
No. They were pissed off that they didn't just put damn feathers in the movie.
Well, you definitely could do feathered dinosaurs. That would be 1,000 times better. But that they actually brought up that dinosaurs have feathers, and they winked at it and nodded to it. I like that they put that in because that's saying, we're just going to run with what we got because we're locked into something from what we thought was 20 years ago. So,
I'm trying to think where we go.
If you do a total reboot, I mean, why would you even do that?
So
the first movie is really great. I don't know why you would total reboot, but
So,
You can start genetically modifying them again with bird DNA and make feathered dinosaurs.
So the bad guys are the bad guys. Turns out the corporation wants to militarize dinosaurs because that sounds like the smartest idea. Why use drones when we can use velociraptors? Because drones won't try to eat you. And Chris Pratt actually says that. And I'm like, Chris Pratt, you're making a good point in this movie. Why Vincent D'Onofrio is not listening to you, I will never understand. But yeah, there was a lot of like, why don't we just use dinosaurs? This seems like a perfect plan. It totally worked the first time that we let dinosaurs out about.
So Vincent D'Onofrio and B.D. Wong are working together to make militarized weapon dinosaurs. And
God, so much of this was like just random happenstance happening. Like,
and
it just so happens that the big mutated dinosaur chose that day to go crazy. I mean, at least in the first one, it was clearly like outside sources that were messing up everything. But no, for this, it was just simply the dinosaur just happened to choose the day that the business lady's nephews were coming in to visit. Like, it was so...
Well, if you're gonna call about the coincidences, I mean, the first movie is full of coincidences, too.
But at least some of it was like... No, because I think there was more of a... It had to be that day, and it had to be, like, they had to get them out before...
The hurricane.
But there was other stuff, too. Like, the whole... Like, him having to... Nedry having to get those things out. I'm just saying, like, it just felt like there were more outside forces, like, going on, whereas this one, the dinosaur happened to decide.
Today's the day.
Today's the day that I learned what's on the other side of that wall.
Teddy bears have their picnic.
That dinosaur was not interesting. Not really.
It was okay.
He was a super dinosaur.
It was sort of a blend of a raptor and something else and a T-Rex.
Yeah.
It was good, but I don't know.
It was intimidating to a point, but then it was like, it can't die. Like, it's shooting, it won't do anything. It can't die. And it got really boring.
It really does look what you expect it to look like.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping maybe they would do something surprising with it.
Also, apparently it only camouflages for the first scene, and then that just...
Drops.
Because
it becomes super pale the rest of the movie, so that you can tell it... You could distinctly tell the difference between other dinosaurs and the genetically modified one.
And they never explain how it just dropped its blood temperature.
Yeah, they never explained that one either.
Except that, like, other animals do it. Hey, this can do it, because we mutated it. Don't question us. Alright, so maybe the dumbest thing in this movie. And there's some dumb stuff coming up in the climax, but let's get to what might be the thing. Again, there are pterodactyls that escape from the bird, the aviary.
Basically, the dinosaurs...
Wait! I want to explain this to our audience. Okay. The mean dinosaur helped break, like, just ran through glass. The amount of stuff that this dinosaur is able to do when the writing calls for it is so dumb.
It never can't do anything.
Yeah, basically. That's it. But so he runs through the aviary, and also a helicopter crashes into it. And then so the pterodactyls go out. But there's something I noticed when the pterodactyls started flying, because I saw a head shape that was different than all the other shapes. And I whispered over to... I looked at it, and I whispered over to Mike, did I just see a T-Rex head on the body of a pterodactyl? And I was like, no, that's stupid. Like, even them mutating, that is a stupid idea. But sure enough, they thought, what would be a good use of our cloning technology / mutation technology? Let's put our freaking T-Rex's head on the body of a pterodactyl. So that way, when the super delicate glass of the aviary breaks open, and the pterodactyls go right for the visitor center, they attack. And granted, the pterodactyls are already intimidating. They have very pointy beaks, and you see people get maimed and murdered by the pterodactyls. But no, they had to have a flying dinosaur with a freaking T-Rex head on just to make it stupid. It was so stupid.
It undermined their
sense of terror. Like
because they looked silly and ridiculous.
They look so dumb. And I'm just going, why? And here's the thing. Later on, when Claire is shocked at the amount of mutation that's going on in the behind-the-scenes lab that she didn't know about. So the T-Rex head on the pterodactyl's body wasn't a dead giveaway that some stupid shit was going on? Why? How was that not a red flag? That's all I'm asking, movie.
Well, she must have known about them because they were in the big aviary. So
That's what I'm saying, though. Why is it so shocking that they were creating weird, over-the-top mutations? Like they acted like this was a big surprise, but it clearly wasn't. I mean, it wasn't also because of the big mega dinosaur, but God, I'm not trying to hate on this movie just to hate on it. I swear I'm not. I went into this thinking it was going to be pretty silly and hoping to have a good time. But we haven't gotten to the part yet. So again, in the first half of the movie, the training of the dinosaurs felt relatively, maybe not realistic, but at least I could kind of see it happening.
They're treating them like dolphins.
Killer
dolphins.
I could, my disbelief was held off, I could handle it. Then we get to the whole, we're going to use them to hunt down the mega dinosaur, which I was like, okay, I knew about this in the trailer. I saw Chris Pratt riding with his gang of dinosaurs, which is just as silly as you think it is. Especially because he does call himself the alpha of the group, and I'm like, okay, slow down, MRA. Calm yourself. So he goes out to find the dinosaurs, and then the mega dinosaur starts talking to Blue, who is the beta of the group, of the raptor group. And it turns out, first of all, did you know that dinosaurs, when they talk to each other, can actually, have conversations?
Especially with a dinosaur that's been in captivity and isolation its entire life, knows how to talk to other dinosaurs.
Yeah. And, they have language. Imagine... Did you ever see the live-action audience, who can obviously answer me, the live-action 101 Dalmatians, where none of the dogs actually had speaking roles, they didn't have any voice actors, but they just had the dogs barking at each other as if they understood every single word, that's what this movie does to the dinosaurs. And so the shocker is, that part of the dinosaur that we weren't revealed and that no one knew about, it turns out it was Raptor the whole time.
And they didn't even really set that up either. It's just like 10 seconds before, it's like, what were they keeping from us? Did they try to not tell us something? They were bringing this up like they didn't tell them something about what was the rest of this dinosaur mix.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, it was Raptor. And it was like some kind of weird reveal that was never set up.
Yeah.
Because they never had a breakdown of, this is a T-Rex blah, 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 hyperbreed or something. They don't really give us the rest of the dinosaurs that are in the mix ever.
But the other part of it is a secret. So then the months and months of training with the Raptors from Chris Pratt as their trainer goes out the window when the Raptors decide to join the mega dinosaur and attack everyone. So that happens because they needed more dinosaurs to attack the good guys.
I think they really wanted to have a scene where raptors were killing people again.
Yeah.
Because those are really great dinosaur attack scenes.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
And also, a lot of the dinosaur attack scenes and dinosaurs fighting and all those scenes, a lot of great scenes and a lot of great action there.
Yeah, but I could not help but notice that it's the same plotting where they have all of the people go into the visitor area and try to hide, and then have the raptors come and attack them in a small enclosed area. It happens exactly like it's very, very similar to what happens, including the surprise last guest of this movie, the surprise cameo that no one saw coming except for that it was revealed in a news thing several weeks ago.
Jimmy Fallon?
No. Jimmy Fallon's in this, and I will say that was one of the more successful things, because it's like, look, the first movie is dated, so, like, you might as well date this one and have it be cheesy, and I could genuinely see that being a thing that the
park would have.
Well, plus then they have, like, what's-his-face brought in an actor to do the voice acting for him. Remember, spared no expense. So, again, it's kind of a callback. It was a callback instead of an homage, and I was okay with that. Getting to the actual cameo. So, the little boy, who is obsessed with counting, goes like, we need more teeth, because there are, like, 68 teeth. Because apparently teeth equals victory in dinosaur fights, which the kid knows because he's a scientist.
Oh, we're at this part already?
Yes. So the ant goes, I have the best idea. And she runs. First of all, why is this particular area so close to the visitor center? I'm just asking. But yeah, it's the T-Rexes. She lets out the T-Rex, with her only protection being a flare that and she's running with her heels still on.
She holds remember, I think it was Ian Malcolm's scene where he's holding the flare and he's got it. She's holding it exactly like he does in that scene where he's trying to get the T-Rex's attention to follow him.
Oh yeah, and also her outfit basically turns into Laura Dern's outfit from the first movie.
Yeah.
Except she's still in a skirt and she's in heels. And I'm sorry, if I was running away from a T-Rex,
and eventually,
other one. Sorry, what about them? In the other scenes, I could handle her wearing heels the whole time. But when you're running against a T-Rex, you take the damn heels off. All right? Especially once the T-Rex is supposed to be going out to fight the mega dinosaur that's attacking your family. If you fall and it eats you instead of fighting the mega dinosaur, you're all screwed. Take off your damn shoes.
Also, she's had plenty of time to switch her shoes out. Like, she's gotten to visitor centers and, like, she's been walking through, like gift shops and stuff, and, like, you could have just given her street shoes. Just have her pick up a pair so that she's,
or just give her flats from the beginning.
True.
And it was very, very obvious. Like, they had shots of her shoes, and it was very annoying. There's a lot about this movie where it was very easy choices that they could have fixed. And that's, I think, what pisses me off. Like, it could have been cheesy and fun and not have gotten me annoyed, and it didn't. It annoyed me in a way I didn't want it to, because I didn't want to hate this movie. I wanted to like this movie. I wanted it to be a surprise and be actually good. So the T-Rex comes, and and she's at least smart enough to throw the damn flare at
the super dinosaur.
At the super dinosaur. Like, I'm not saying it's the worst idea ever, and I get that she was desperate, but there were parts of me that were like, there are flaws in this plan, ma'am. So they fight. And I should point out that at this point, Chris Pratt has gained the trust back of the three raptors that were left during this thing. And they decide to attack the other one after having another conversation with the mega dinosaur. It was so dumb. And I was like, I'm so tired of these raptors. I'm actually tired of these raptors because this whole idea of them like doing this just doesn't make any sense. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But anyway, so it's now the T-Rex and a raptor fighting the mega dinosaur.
Well, first the mega dinosaur kind of fights with the T-Rex itself, and they fight for a while, and the mega dinosaur sort of wins, But then the one raptor comes back and he's like,
he's
"Rah,
blue,
rah, rah."
Mike. Did
It's
you
blue.
notice it's blue?
Yeah, it's blue.
They make
The
a
raptor.
big thing. Oh my god.
You're my boy, Blue.
Yeah, I was waiting for that to actually come up. I'm surprised it didn't.
But then the Blue comes in and then he starts attacking the mega dinosaur, and then him and the T-Rex take down the mega dinosaur, sort of like they're equal fights. It's an equal fight.
Yeah, so, but then they're still not down, like, they still haven't gotten him, but they get him close to the water, and he's like, the mega dinosaur's about to, like, try to attack again. And then suddenly, the big water dinosaur, who hasn't shown up in a while except to eat the assistant, which was weird, it was a weird scene because
It's a weird choice.
It was played up as a laugh. Like, the guy next to me was laughing about it. I'm like, oh my, she's gonna die. And why are we laughing? Why are we meant to, like, think
And also
this is
her
funny?
death takes a really
long time.
She had more time on screen dying than she actually did in the rest of the movie.
Well, obviously in the rest of the movie, because she didn't survive.
Well, I mean, previously, she had more on-screen time dying than she did in, like, the entire rest of the
yeah,
whole
that
movie.
was really awful. But anyway, so the water
And she has
dinosaur.
the most complicated death.
Yeah, there was a lot of, like, her getting picked
it
off
was-
by a few
It
different.
was a Rube Goldberg machine of death. Because she's carried off by one dinosaur, then picked up by another dinosaur, then picked up by a third dinosaur, and
and
it's
then
like
dropped into the water, and
water.
then another one picks it up, and then that's the one you see in the trailer where the big dinosaur goes and eats the one pterodactyl. But you don't see, you just know that she was picked up and not dropped off. So basically, alright, but then...
She's got the Rube Goldberg death of this.
But again,
movie.
fast forward to the end of the movie, and the sea dinosaur kills the mega dinosaur, and it goes in the water. And here again, this is where it gets to ungodly amounts of dumb. So you know how T-Rexes tend to not be particularly thoughtful or like smart in like a way that's beyond their capability. And you know how they tend to just, like, eat people? Like, basically, in this movie, it understands that the bad dinosaur just died, and it looks at the humans and just walks away, turns around, walks in the other direction, just off into the island.
To be fair, that T-Rex he was just like, I'm done. I'm going to sleep for
I'm
a
pretty
couple
sure
weeks.
he would have eaten them.
Very true.
Something. It was very dumb.
Here's the thing. This movie treats, like, once the bad dinosaur is dead, and all the... that's... the situation is over. All of our dinosaurs are on the loose, but the bad dinosaur is dead, so everything's okay.
No, sir, that's exactly what happens. Like, and then Blue the Raptor looks at Chris Pratt, and they have a moment, and he walks off too to go be an adult raptor.
And it's nightfall, and they said that the boats won't come until morning, first light. So all the people are still on the island, trapped for another probably 3 hours at least, because it's pitch black. And so, I mean, like, the next scene after like you see Chris Pratt and them have their moment in the street, and all of a sudden, you know, you fade back and everyone's safe and sound in this warehouse at, you know, during the daylight. And it's just they just shorten up this ending because all the dinosaurs are on the loose, but everyone's seemingly okay somehow. And it's just weird. It's a weird, like, everyone's safe because the good dinosaurs are all still out or something.
And then it's like, oh, the kids are reunited, and the sister hugs her sister, and apparently they don't mention if they're getting a divorce or not. Like, that never, just like the mom and dad are both there. They never explain. Apparently, I don't know if they're trying to set up the next movie. I gotta believe that's what it is, and God help them, they're gonna make their money. I don't think they're not gonna make their money with this.
Yeah, this movie was packed. We had to go. We were we showed up at about 7 o'clock to make the 7:30, and I think the 7:30 might have been sold out within 5 minutes of us getting there, and then it was like the 8 was just sold out when we got to the front of the line, so we had to take an 8:30.
But, so, basically, the bad guys leave the island with the special embryos. And it's highly implied that they made it. There's no indication that they didn't make it. Because right when they take off
in the helicopter, there's nothing left but, the next 45 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, no, it never...
The bad guys get away with, 45 minutes left of the movie.
I really wondered if there was going to be an after-credits scene to explain what happens to them. There wasn't. Which, again, I have to assume that they're trying to set up the next movie, but it doesn't work for this one. It just kind of ends, which is disheartening. And
you at least got the tie, the end with Nedry. His story wrapped up with his death and all that sort of stuff. But the bad guys' arcs in this movie just sort of peter off at the end because they get away.
And then, so the ending of the movie, the official ending of the movie is Bryce Dallas Howard's going up to Chris Pratt and going, "What do we do now?" And he goes, "We better stick together to survive." It's like, well, I really want to know what you guys are going to do with the actual park, considering your CEO got eaten. And it's basically the disaster that everyone should have kind of seen coming. There's no way that there wasn't going to be something like this that happened eventually. That was kind of the whole point of the first movie, that, this is so chaotic that you couldn't actually maintain it.
And that's the thing, too. Vincent D'Onofrio, the bad guy character, is the guy that points this out. Once he takes over the control room, he's like, "We expected this to happen. We knew that this would one day happen." And he's the one that gets everyone off, starting to get everyone off the island. And he's like, "I called the rescue boats." And he's sort of almost this, he takes over for all the heroic things that we should have seen our protagonist lady do. She should have taken care of the park and her nephews. She should have been able to do that.
Yeah,
but
it's all bad writing.
Instead, they gave heroic moments to the bad guys, which is really mixed.
So, I'm trying to think of the other thing I was gonna say. I feel like it was something that we talked about in the theater while we were waiting to see if they had...
Oh, the second thing I called that was going to happen, they find the old visitor center.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
And the little kids repair one of the old Jeeps and get it running.
Dumb. They were like, remember when we built, they dropped this line about rebuilding
Charger or whatever.
It's like, okay, a 20-year-old Jeep probably doesn't, Mike pointed out, probably doesn't have good tires. Probably, you couldn't do this in an hour,
The tires would be flat and they'd be garbage with 20 years.
Maybe, yeah. But, oh gosh,
you probably couldn't get 20 feet in that Jeep, even if you got it running.
I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. Look, see it on DVD. I wouldn't see it necessarily in...
I think the action in this movie is actiony and good enough that you can see it on the big screen. But just be ready that this movie is going to probably either... This is getting so many mixed reviews. I think it's just dumb enough that it's not great. It's sort of it's got good action scenes and it's enjoyable on the big screen, the action scenes. But you definitely, for the rest of this movie, this is the DVD.
Yeah, I wanted to like it more. I didn't want this to be a review where we talked about all the stuff that we found really stupid. But it wasn't that great. It's because it's got
a lot of flaws, and they're gashing, and they're terrible. And also, I pointed this out to you at during the credits, but the female characters in this movie don't get much at all.
Yeah, there's very little, and like I said, I was kind of I was set up to at least anticipate a little bit more from the main female character, and there really wasn't, especially because it was honestly,
and they really could have given her very easily
so much stuff, and they really did focus on the whole like she's not good with kids,
and she should probably save her nephews.
She's probably should be better with kids because she's a woman, so one day she's gonna have children. Oh, she says she doesn't want children. Oh, you'll learn. I got really mad about that.
She could have been really awesome if she was able to evacuate people off the island, take control of the situation, and just handle that and save her nephews.
Yeah.
That would have been a much stronger thing for her, but they didn't go that route. And they gave some of that heroic stuff to the villains, which is a really weird choice.
The other thing I really liked too
was
a
flawed choice.
I'll say this much: I found it really funny that the kids went through the original doors to Jurassic Park, and they were like, "Welcome to the original doors of it," and I was like, "Somebody, a construction worker died here, but we're not going to tell you about that." Whimsy. It was okay. It was, maybe you'll like it better than we did. There was too much.
There's plenty of people that will like this movie better than we did. And there's plenty of people that will probably hate it more than we did. I reasonably liked it enough that I am glad I saw it on the big screen.
I don't think I need to see it again.
I don't think I need to see it again. I will go watch the original Jurassic Park much more often than this.
Yeah. All right. It's been almost an hour for this review, so I think we're ready to go. Katie and Mike.
Well,
what? You got something else to say? No, I'm not trying to pressure.
I had something that idea that I had. No, I can't think of what was.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought we were done.
I know. We were sort of wrapping up. I'll let it be. I'll complain about it in the credits if you really want to know.
If you remember it.
I'll figure it out. It will come to me like 5 minutes after you turn off the camera.
Okay. Katie and Mike. JustPlainSomething.com, and we'll see you later.